Alright, a very big welcome to you, my awesome viewers and subscribers from all over the world. This is The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted channel for political analysis. Falana seeks probe into alleged diversion of $3.4 billion IMF loan. Now, you can say all you want about Femi Falana being controversial, but you can't deny the fact that he is better than most of the elites we have in this country today. I can still bash him tomorrow if he goes offline, but when he does something well, I will say it. We know that the probe will not yield any result, but at least somebody has admitted that these monies were stolen. The $3.4 billion IMF loan, whose final repayment was made 2 days ago, was embezzled by the APC. So you took a loan and embezzled it. Now you want to use your repayment of it as a campaign point. What did I gain from the loan? It was you who took it and embezzled it. Meanwhile, the final $1.6 billion settlement is beginning to have a very devastating effect on the exchange rate as we speak. It was 1,580 naira to a dollar just 5 days ago before that payment was made. Now it is 1,630 naira to a dollar. It has gone up by 50. Who bears the brunt? It is you and I. Before you know it, importers will begin to raise the prices of goods. They have already done that, I believe. You know, we are in an import-based nation, yet you keep messing up the exchange rate time after time. That is why I have said that it is not a matter of opinion for me. Anyone who supports APC and TINUBU should be avoided like a plague because he or she does not have a conscience. It takes somebody without a conscience to support the evil that is going on in this country right now. And a few hours ago, TINUBU hired a brilliant and powerful Southeast politician to help him win over the Southeast and the rest of Nigeria with a well-informed argument that many may not be able to decipher as a misleading and demonic line of argument. But the smart Nigerians quickly began to counter it. And just as Nigerians were yet countering that disgraceful update from Patience Jonathan, wife of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, began making the rounds. Goodluck Jonathan recently came out to criticize TINUBU for trying to make Nigeria a one-party state. And less than 72 hours after, his wife, Patience Jonathan, came out and made this disgraceful statement that made Nigerians to drag and curse her. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. In this video, an old Nigerian described the kind of Nigeria that TINUBU and his cohorts grew up in. The people that are killing us today. This is the kind of Nigeria they grew up in. See the video.
That's who he is.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, at the university, the government, well, I come from Kogi State, geographically part of the north. Sadhana made sure that anybody who had admission to a tertiary institution was given a scholarship. The scholarship covered tuition, covered lodging, covered feeding, 3 meals per day. And we had what was called Bulgaria. That was allowance. Okay. Like I told you yesterday, I got married when I was in university from my allowance. As a student, we had book allowance. If you went overseas, you had what was called warm clothing allowance. And like I was saying yesterday, what was Saddam using for money compared with the money that is available now, that some people, some governors earn more than 1 billion naira per month for security vote. Sir, my firstborn, I was at the university the year I graduated. My friend and I rode on his scooter. We left Ibadan at 12:30 a.m. and got to Ilorin at 4:30 a.m. on a scooter.
Security.
There was nothing to be afraid of. Because each region took care of its own children.
Oh.
Like I said yesterday, sir, that constitution is the title deed. The day it comes down and we have a constitution drawn by us, that's when we'll be free. Sir, it is like a company. Him, me, he decide to form a company. We have what is called Memorandum of Understanding.
Yes, sir. MOU.
Memorandum of Understanding in our own case here is called Preamble. It says, we, the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, agree.
And there was never a time.
No, where did we sit to agree? God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You heard that. Where do I start reacting to this video from? So many talking points. We never sat down to agree to be a nation. That is why you can never question those who say that division is the only way out. But this is the kind of country that TINUBU and the likes grew up in. They had everything. But today, they are giving the people nothing. They are telling the people they don't deserve anything. The same group of people that were treated like queens and kings, like princes and princesses, are now treating Nigerians like slaves. Look at how TINUBU messed up the educational sector. Parents can no longer pay school fees. More than 18 million children are out of school. And this was even early last year's figure that was dropped by UNESCO. By now, it could be over 21 million. And Baba finished the speech by saying the organs that formed Nigeria never sat down to agree that they wanted to be one nation. But guess what? If a meeting was to be held today to decide whether Nigeria should remain together or not, the meeting will be made up of elites. And I'm telling you, they will all vote for the country to remain one. Why? Because they are the ones holding onto the soul and the treasures of the country. So they will never want it to disintegrate. They are united, the elites. They are so united in their evil and atrocities against the Nigerian state. And the only way to beat them is for the people to also keep their sentiments aside and unite against them. Outside that, this country will never be rescued and restored. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that video from Southeast. TINUBU recently recruited a prominent Southeast politician who is known to be a brilliant Nigerian, and now he is putting up an argument using good information, but this argument is false and misleading. Everything he's just doing is to try to sell TINUBU to Nigerians, and while trying to sell TINUBU to Nigeria in this argument, he shamed the entire APC as a party just to make TINUBU look good. But Nigerians ended up disgracing him and TINUBU in their reactions to the video. And next is that disgraceful update from the wife of ex-President Goodluck Jonathan, Patience Jonathan. In recent times, Goodluck Jonathan has been criticizing TINUBU's style of leadership. He said the people are suffering too much. And about 72 hours after his last criticism on the move for a one-party system, his wife, Patience Jonathan, jumped out and started drumming support for TINUBU in 2027. What a shame. Let's start by taking that video from no other than Charles Soludo, governor of Anambra State. His attempt in this video is to put the entire blame of everything that is happening in this country right now on Buhari. See the video.
Because I superintended the development or the drafting of the 2007 Central Bank Act. And to prevent us from getting where we are today, that's why we had an explicit clause there that prevents central bank from lending, recklessly, granting ways and means advances to the federal government. And we explicitly put in the law that you cannot grant more than to federal government more than 5% of the previous year's actual revenue as ways and means advances to the federal government. And that so granted must be retired by the end of the year in which it is granted. And where the federal government fails to retire that, the central bank is forbidden by that law from further advancing ways and means to it. That's the law. 2007 Act of the Central Bank. By that law, I don't think there was any time that the ways and means advances would have been more than 250 billion at any point in time. We were very stringent in doing this. And as governor, I was very bullish in insisting that we remain within the ambit of the law. But we sat there, all of us, Nigerians, we are all guilty of this. We all sat, saw the central bank, brazenly, illegally, violating that act year on year and kept printing money, literally. Because when you advance money that is backed by nothing, you just credit the federal government, but continue to credit the account of government with trillions. 1 trillion, people shouted, 2 trillion, 10 trillion, 15 trillion, 20 trillion. And we kept going. My dear friend Sheung, I did say it before, that this particular government inherited a dead economy. From a macroeconomic point of view, this government inherited a dead economy, standing almost a dead horse but was still standing. But people didn't know it was dead.
You heard that. First of all, shame on the old fool Bayo Ononuga, who uploaded this video on his Twitter page. Now, the attempt to separate TINUBU from the failure of Buhari's government is one that we will never allow to succeed. First of all, TINUBU said before the whole world that it was he who brought Buhari to power. Now, you may want to say he thought Buhari had integrity. No, he didn't. Buhari, in his third year, began asking the CBN to print money for him, and he was not paying back the loan. That's what Soludo referred to as ways and means loans. Those are the loans you take from central bank of a country. You are supposed to pay it back so that the economy can balance. Buhari began taking from the day he stepped into office, and he never paid back. TINUBU saw all these things. Yet in 2019, he went around the entire country with him, campaigning for his re-election. So don't tell me that he didn't know that Buhari was evil. And by 2023, TINUBU said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. So don't ever try to separate TINUBU from Buhari's failure. But then, if Charles Soludo is not crazy, he should have seen that TINUBU's performance is also a monumental disaster. Let us even forget about Buhari now. TINUBU, you said you inherited a dead economy, yet you increased your salaries and those of National Assembly members after 30 days by 115%. You bought yourself a private jet worth over 150 billion. You bought yourself a yacht within 60 days. You gave out 3 billion naira for your wife's cars to be changed. The presidential fleet was changed. You upgraded it. You bought cars that were worth 5 times the cars that Buhari drove. You renovated Presidential Lodge in Lagos with about 5 billion naira. You touched Aso Rock with about 7 billion naira. I can go on and on. This is a person you are telling me inherited a dead economy, and you are doing all this. What does he say about you? Please, Soludo, respect yourself. We know you are looking for re-election, but foolishness has a limit. Please. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from wife of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, Dame Patience Jonathan, began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Former First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has ruled out any return to Aso Rock Villa, declaring instead that she will campaign alongside the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, ahead of 2027 general elections. The ex-First Lady, known for her candid views, threw her weight behind the principle of rotational leadership, describing the turn-by-turn model as essential for national unity. She said, "I was supposed to call her first, but I saved her for last. The daughter of our wonderful president, the president of Nigeria, the one and only we believe in. Bola Tinubu, Iyaloja, thank you for standing with women, because these are your women. Carry them along. They are with you. All the way we are with you. No shaking. We will follow. Direct us and we will follow, because there is only one president at a time. We don't have two presidents. I am outspoken. If I don't like something, I will say it. But if I like something, I die for it. I believe in one president. I believe in turn by turn. When it is your turn, I will support you. When it is not your turn, step back so that the country can move forward. Speaking further, she said she has a long-standing relationship with Remi TINUBU that predates their time in Aso Rock. She insisted that rather than return to Aso Rock, she will support the First Lady and her husband. Because you see, this is turn by turn. Today is my turn, I will go. Tomorrow it will be another person's turn. Then we go. And when we go, we will still meet. Where will we meet? I don't know. I stand by my friend. My friend is great. I told her I would campaign with her. I am not denying her. I am not running. I am not going back to the villa. If you call me, I will not go. Now, the whole disgrace in this whole thing goes to ex-president Goodluck Jonathan. And I pity Jonathan. You know, this is really a family issue and a personal issue. But I don't know where Jonathan met this kind of senseless human being to marry as a wife. And Emeka Emmanuel here says, words of a shameless woman campaigning for your arch enemies. She Godale. Elijah says, empty head, an empty-headed woman. Even her speech so incoherent. And Ijo Mountain here says, it is a big insult on those who died for your husband during elections. Shameless woman. All politicians are not worthy to die for. They are all evil. Well, there are a few exceptions. Ebere here says, her brain is disconnected from her head. I am telling you, and thousands of Nigerians came down on her heavily, cursing her out. You know, you can come out and tell me that it is her opinion and this is politics and anybody can support whoever they want to support. But like I always say, there is limits to stupidity. I'm not saying you should not support Remi TINUBU, but you can do it in your closet. You have women groups in Bayelsa State. You can call them and tell them to support Remi TINUBU. But to come and stand before the whole world and say these words, knowing fully well the role that this woman and her husband played in getting Jonathan out of office in 2015, this is a complete disgrace to your husband. Is a complete disregard of the person of Jonathan. And I am telling you, it should even be Jonathan. The way a family works that I know, a normal family, it should be Jonathan that should be willing to let go of what was done to him in 2015. And the woman he married as wife should be insisting that no, we cannot let that happen. These people did bad to us. That is how a normal, functional Nigerian family works that I know of. But for Jonathan to be complaining just 2 days ago that the one-party system that TINUBU is trying to turn Nigeria to is wrong and that is not good for Nigerian democracy, then less than 48 hours, his wife comes out and begins to say she will go and campaign with Remi TINUBU. That is a disgrace to Jonathan. Anyway, they are elites, and like I always say, these elites will always unite against the people. You have seen it now, Nigerian people. You know what you have to do to take your country back. These elites continue to unite against us. Only less than 1% of them are standing for the people. The people know those ones. You can choose to queue behind them or continue wallowing about in your useless sentiments of tribe and religion and allow these demonic elites to continue ripping this country off. Make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now because of una. Now I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go.